Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Welcome back to Ironclad RC. I'm Big B. Today we got the model Ships Ahoy twin motor fiberglass catamaran on the block. This is a 21-inch twin motor build we've been working on, part 4. We're going to be installing the servo mount, steering linkage, getting everything, the through hole, getting all that epoxied into the boat. Stick around. Big B, we're Ironclad. So I'm going to get you guys caught up. Those of you who haven't seen the first couple of uploads, we installed the custom motor mount, okay? The water pickups on both sides, flush mounted, DIY water pickups, DIY stingers, okay? And we have our rudder mounted up. Got it mounted dead nut center on the transom. So we're going to be using this S603 Spectrum servo. I chose the Spectrum servo only because it's the case is a little bit smaller than this DS servo. I don't think we'll need 25 kilograms, so this should work. Okay, just have a little plastic generic servo horn on there, nothing fancy. Alright, I'm also going to be using this plastic servo mount. Okay, your servo basically just bolts right into it. Okay, bolts right in, and then I'm gonna mount it in the boat with this nut plate. I made just a piece of plastic that I drilled 4 holes, countersunk the holes, and hammered some nuts into. I'm gonna probably use some thin CA before I mount it. I went ahead and CA glued my nuts onto my mount. Alright, my nut plate, drilled a couple epoxy dam holes, and I got it kind of tacked together so when we mount it in the boat we can kind of see where we want to put it at. Just using a 1mm stainless steel rod. It's actually a rod off of a whisk, a kitchen whisk that you mix with. We had one break the other day and I cut all the wires off, and it's perfect for steering rods. Okay, using a 3.2mm brass tube for my through hole. It's basically going to get mounted right there. Alright, instead of using a bellow. Okay, and I have a 3mm silicone line. Alright, I just cut a little slither. I slid it on my main silicone line, and it actually puts just enough pressure on there to keep it watertight. You guys see how it's gripping? Okay, first I had tried this small slither. It wasn't quite grippy enough, so I cut a little bit longer and it grips it perfect. Alright, that's going to keep water out the boat. Alright, my rudder, just using an easy connector here, pretty simple. Alright, so you can see where I roughed up my mounting surface. Okay, so basically got everything assembled. I got my rod and my connector, got my through hole on. We're going to basically epoxy everything into place all in one shot. Alright, so I'm basically going to get everything set up where I want it. Okay, keeping in mind trying to get these motors out. Alright, I want to get it mounted directly center, like dead nut center in the hull. Okay, so I can easily get my motors out. I think I'm going to run it about right here. Okay, and my through hull, basically going to mount it up flush. I'm probably going to leave a little bit sticking out and then, you know, sand it, grind it off later on. I'm going to go ahead and mount everything in the boat. I'm just going to mix up some Cabasil and epoxy this. Boom, like easy peasy. Just spread out some epoxy. Done. Alright. Alright, so I got it binded up with my DX5 Rugged. I just have a SR215 in here. I actually greased up this side right here. I greased it up. Alright, I got everything tightened down on this side. Basically want to test my bushing. I have a Teflon liner in this one. with a little short run of homemade bushing. Okay, so it's all greased up. I got this guy right here all mounted up. It's all hooked up. Basically all I need to do really is just sand that flat whenever I go to finalize everything and put my nuts on my rudder. But for this video's sake, it's done. The hardest part was hunting down all the miscellaneous parts I needed, like the connector, the wire for the steering arm. You know, had to modify my arm here. I cut it short because so it wouldn't bottom out on the deck, you know, and made my little nut plate and everything. That's the hardest part, tracking everything down. Installing it's the easy part. It took me like 2 seconds, literally. Alright, it's a slow servo. This is a straightaway boat. It don't need to be fast. What's the point in spending $60 on a fast servo if you're going to be running straightaways and turn to travel down the speeds of the exponentials? You know what I'm saying? Well, I guess it helps if I turn the speed up. I have the speed on 45 and 45. I repurposed one of my old boat channels on this transmitter. I only have 25 models, and I repurposed one of the models, so I had to reset all my settings. Got it on 100 now. Let's see how fast it. There we go. That's more like it. I was kind of like, what's going on with my speed here? That's pretty freaking slow. I threw some grease on my bearing, thinking it was just a cheap servo, because it's off of a ready to run pro boat Sonic Wake. You know what I mean? And I just I repurposed those larger ready to run servos for smaller boats. That's all you need, all I need for this boat. You guys may be different. You may like to, you know, spend the extra $40-50 for a decent servo, which, like I said, I have one. It's not a fast servo, but it's got some torque. But what's your thought? What do you guys think? Does that RC boat need an extremely fast servo? Does it need a torquey servo? Or just any old servo will work for a boat? What's your opinion? I think they need more torque than speed, personally. Especially doing ovals, you know, you don't really have anything to run into, so you don't need the fast speed. Torque over anything, and metal gear is my opinion. That's just me. I'm just an old southern boy. That's what I like. Alright, so I got everything tightened down over there. This servo is real nice because all I have to do is pull those 2 screws, or if I decide to put all 4 of them in, just pull this out the way, like 2 seconds. Loosen this up, pull it out. I can tighten everything up. I'm super glad I went with the nut plate. Alright, so let's listen to it. My homemade bushing. Okay. First time I ever spooled it up. I just greased it and tightened down the coupler. First time. Sounds good. Not hot. That's good. Vibrating. Sounds weird vibrating. That sounds nice. Hell yeah. So that's good. That's good. It's a bummer. I gotta get more ESCs. These were given to me, and I mentioned this in the last one. I couldn't get this one to work for no longer than 2 seconds, and I was bench testing it, working on some solder. I had to go do something with my kids, and I left it plugged in just like this overnight. I came back, my transmitter batteries were dead. My other Z battery, brand new battery, dead. I tried to recover the cells. I recovered 2 of the 3, and I can't get the ESC to power on whatsoever. So it's not like I'm missing anything. I was trying to fix it. It would only spool up for 2 seconds, and then it would just stop. So I think I'm gonna go with some Fly Color 90s. They're cheap. I'm just got to get the money together to get them. So by the time I get them, I should have everything ready. Nice. Alright, well, I'll let you guys go. Just a quick little update and install. We'll see you next time. Pretty nice. Yeah, and I did this. I used this instead of a Z-bend, so I didn't have to pull the arm off and stuff and pull the servo every time I wanted to pull the linkage. You know, this right here just pops off, and then you pull your arm out you know, and it's ready to roll. So, yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Super thanks. If you guys want to help contribute to the channels, I gotta have some new speed controls for this boat. So, super thanks would be nice. We'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Big B with Ironclad RC.